Good morning, students. Welcome back again. Today, we are going to discuss a new chapter, a new topic, which is related to the history of India, right? Which mentions about the heritage of science and technology, right? That is chapter number 5. That is India's heritage of science and technology. Previously, we have seen the concepts of economic development, liberalization, globalization, social change, all that things, right? All that things are as important as our heritage is, as our history is. So it is even important to learn the history. It is important to know about the heritage, what heritage we have, what we preserve from the history, from the previous era that those people have consumed and reserved in the terms of science and technology. From chapter number 1 to 7, it is all about history, it is all about preservations, it is all about different heritages, right? So we have starting with this chapter number 5, that is the heritage of science and technology. We have already seen some examples and some few concepts which are related to technology. But what was science and technology in the previous eras? Where did it started? How did it started? We are going to start with all this concept, and we are going to know about the heritage of science and technology, right? We are going to discuss 4 topics today. First, that is the heritage of ancient India in the field of science and technology. The second concept we are going to discuss, that is metallurgy. The third concept that we are going to discuss, that is all about chemistry. And the fourth concept that we are going to discuss is science of medicine and surgery. All these things are even present today, but how it started, right? What is the preservation? Who invented all these things? Chemistry, medicines, surgeries, ancient Indias in the terms of science and technologies, how all these things started. We are going to learn in chapter number 5. Take out your textbook, page number 37. First paragraph, the discoveries and invention in the field of science and technology have brought countries of the world closer. Cooperation among all the nations has increased. Hence, new attitude has developed. Countries have become oriented towards peaceful coexistence and world peace. Because of science and technology that we are seeing today, right? We are focusing on the world peace. We are focusing on better environment. We are focusing on coordinating activities in the terms of science and technologies, so that human can survive, or they can live their life peacefully. This is what the main aim is, even today also in the 21st century. And when they started all these things, their main aim was peace by developing science and technology, giving benefits to the humans living in the world, right? Next, science means systematic knowledge. Underline that statement. Science means systematic knowledge, and technology means the practical utility of systematic knowledge. I'm repeating it again. Science means a systematic knowledge, a step-by-step learning that you learn in a systematic way, right? That is what science is. And the next thing is technology. That means the practical utility, how you utilize that science which gives benefit to the humans living in the world. That is what technology is, giving benefits to the humans, right? So that is science and technology. Science and technology, in spite of being two different words, are linked to each other. They are linked to each other. Without science, technology is not possible, and without technology, even science is somewhere half. Right? Science, either this or that way, requires the helps of technology. So it is very important, right, to get the benefits of both, that is science and technology. Right? They are both linked to each other. Next, that is the heritage of ancient India in the field of science and technology. The the great sages of ancient India have gifted invaluable heritage of science to the world. They have made outstanding contribution in the field of metallurgy, that is all about metals, chemistry, science of medicines, surgery, mathematics, astronomy, astrology, Vastu Shastra and physics. All these things are a part of ancient India. We are getting the benefits which are being invented by our forefathers. And that is why we are on a very rapid development. Imagine if all these things were not developed. Can we imagine the technology that we have today? Can we get the benefits of science and technology that we are getting today? That is a question mark. All these things were being developed by some great people in the ancient time, so that we may get the benefit. Right? Next. It is a matter of great pride for us. India has contributed not only in the field of literature, art, religion, education and philosophy, but also it has made an immense contribution in the field of science and technology. Even there are some great writers, right? There are some great people in the field of literature, in the field of art, in the field of education, in the field of philosophy, right? There are many people who are something or who have achieved the extreme degree in the terms of all this field, different fields. But in this field, except that field, we have also made development in science and technology also. Right? Next. Modern age researchers have proved that India has scientific attitude along with religious outlook. India has scientific attitude along with religious outlook. We are always, religious oriented people. We always give more importance to religious. But India is a country where both the systems, that is the religious system as well as the science and the technology system, both are given equal importance. And that has been made in the terms of research. That is all the benefits that we are getting. Right, I'm reading the last line again. Modern age researchers, that means the people of today, have proved that India has scientific attitude, an attitude which is acceptable in both the ways, maybe in the terms of religious and in the terms of science and technology. That is the benefit that the Indian people have. That is the mentality and the attitude that the Indian people have. And we are getting all these benefits, all these facilities, because our forefathers have made a great research in the terms of science and technology. Right? We are just getting the fruits. The tree was planted many years ago, so that we may get the benefits, we may get the fruits. Right? Next. First concept that we are going to see about science and technology, that is metallurgy. Since ancient age, the people of India use metallurgy in their practical life. Ancient India made extraordinary progress in the field of metallurgy. A metallic idol of a female dancer discovered from Indus Valley civilization. It started from Indus Valley civilization. That is the place where this idol was being discovered, right? Is an exemplary achievement of ancient India. Later, statues of Buddha belonging to the Kushan period have been found at Takshashila. In South India, during the Chola period, numerous metal idols were made. Underline that statement. Right? In South India, during the Chola period, numerous metal idols were made. The statue of Nataraja, a masterpiece in sculpture, is famous all over the world. The statue of Nataraja is famous all over the world. Again, underline that statement. It is preserved in museum at Chennai. It is preserved in a museum at Chennai. Again, underline that statement. Another well-known metal idol, Ram, the archer, can be seen in the museum. Artistic statues of god and goddesses, birds and animals, and betel nut cutters are considered to be the best example of metallic art. There are various different statues are being made in the terms of metallic arts, right? Not today, since ancient India. Since ancient India. What kind of ancient India? Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. From that point of time, we are into the field of metallurgy. The statue of Nataraja, the statue of, Ram, that is idol Ram. All these things are being still even preserved today. And that preserved thing is known as an heritage. That preserved thing is known as an heritage of India, right? In the field of metallurgy. In the field of metallurgy. Whatever statements you are underlining, you have to learn by heart. That can be an 1-mark question, that can be a part of MCQ, and again that can be asked in true or false, right? Or it can ask in match the following also. So whatever I am saying, underline that statement and learn by heart, right? It will give you cash marks, right? Ready-made marks it is. So underline all that statements and learn by heart. Next topic, chemistry, right? Chemistry is an experimental science. As you know, chemistry is all about different chemicals getting mixed up, implementing some new things, new chemicals, new bonds, all that things. That is all about chemistry, right? That is why it is an experimental science. This science is very useful for various minerals, plants, seeds for agriculture, making of various metals, or to bring changes in them. Different chemical experiments are being made so that may give benefits to the different field, to the different areas, just like minerals, plants, seeds, agriculture, and making various other metals, right? Or moduling or bringing changes in them, right? All the changes that we are seeing, that is all because of chemistry. Whether it may be in the terms of minerals, maybe it may be in the terms of plant, maybe in the terms of seeds for agriculture, we can say that in hybrid agriculture or hybrid seeds, or making changes in various metals. All these things are possible because of the chemical equations, because of chemistry, right? And it is also useful for making medicines. It is also useful for making medicines. That is again an advantage for chemistry, right? And even to the humans living in the society. Acharya Nagarjuna, a learned Buddhist of Nalanda University, is known as Acharya in the field of chemistry. Underline that statement, right? He is known as the Acharya. Acharya means a kind of guru or a respectable person who have achieved a great degrees in the terms of chemistry, right? A learned Buddhist. He is a learned Buddhist. From which university? Nalanda University, right? Is known as Acharya in the field of chemistry. Underline that statement again. He had written books like Ras Ratnakar and Arogya Manjari. Acharya Nagarjuna advocated the use of allopathy along with herbal medicines. He has written 2 books, that is Ras Ratnakar and Arogya Mani, and he has also used the use of allopathy in herbal medicines. Who invented all these things? Acharya Nagarjuna, right? He is known as the Acharya in the field of chemistry. Right? It is believed that the use of mercury means a kind of dry liquid, right? Ash as a medicine, it was initiated by him. A part of medicines that may be useful to a kind of a disease, that was again been made by this person, that is Acharya Nagarjuna. right? He have achieved some greatest degree, or he has invented some great things which are useful in the field of chemistry and which gives the benefits to the people living in the society, right? It make you benefits in the terms of minerals, plant, hybrid seeds, making different shapes of metals, all that things. Everything was being started, or the pillar, or a great personality, that is Acharya Nagarjuna. Nalanda University had its own school of chemistry and furnace for study and research. The description of main rasa, uprasa, 10 types of poisons, as well as various types of salts and ash of minerals is seen in the chemistry. Different type of minerals, different type of salts, different type of ashes that we are using, right, in the terms of minerals are all because of the chemical equations that are being done in the lab, right? And why we are learning, why we have this knowledge? Because it was been developed in the previous era by some great people, by some great scientists or great personalities, right? We are just moving with the flow, right? Imagine if all this science and technological things, whether it is metallurgy or whether it is chemistry, if not been developed at that stage, it is a question mark for the present generation to learn each and everything. Why it is very easy for us to learn? Because it is ready-madely available in the market. But there were some people who initiated all this concept, and because of those great personalities, those great people, we are getting the benefits, we are getting the fruits. Maybe in the terms of minerals, maybe in the terms of hybrid seeds, maybe in the terms of molding different kind of metals, maybe finding some new chemical equations which will improve the living of the people, that is the standard of living of the society, right? We are just getting the benefits. Why? Because they have invented all these things. That is all about chemistry, all about chemistry. The copper statues of Buddha reflect an expert knowledge and skill in the field of chemistry. The copper statue of Buddha discovered from Sultanganj, underline that statement. The copper statue of Buddha discovered from Sultanganj in Bhagalpur district of Bihar. Which state? Bihar. Is 7.5 feet high. At that point of time, a statue that was being made of copper, what was the height? 7.5 feet, right? And weighs 1 ton. And weighs 1 ton at that point of time, right? That is something very great. It looks 7.5 feet, looks very normal in today's era. But at that point of time, we didn't have any kind of machines. We didn't have any kind of industrialization. It was all in the beginning, the initial phase, right? People were not even that much educated. And in spite of not having that education and knowledge, at that point of time, there was a statue which was totally made up of copper. And what was the height? 7.5 feet. And what was the weight? 1 ton. Right? That is something very great that we are, we were able to make in the past eras. Those people were able to make all these things without any kind of knowledge. Alright? I'll give you one example so you'll just think. Taj Mahal was being built by the laborers who were not educated. And it is considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. Right? We need to think like that way. You can still see some, great structures which were built in the 16th and 17th century are still present today. So imagine the amount of construction or the amount of the, the technological knowledge that they might have used without education, without knowledge. Is something very great. And what we are doing today in the present generation, we are just getting all the benefits in a ready-made way. We are going to that place, we are making a research how it has been made, and we make the same thing in a different way. That is what we are doing. But imagine those things were not being made, right? Those things not being developed, metallurgy, chemistry, or whatever field of area it is. Can we get the knowledge? We need to think like that way, because history plays a very important role in our life. I agree that many of the students might feel that history is something very boring. No, it is not at all boring. You need to look history in this point of view. So that would make you a very interesting, a concept or a particular chapter to learn. Imagine like that. If those things were not there, can we get the benefits today that we are getting? Then try to learn and understand the chapter. Right? Next, what it says. The statue of Buddha at Nalanda is 18 feet. An exquisite example is of Vijay Stham, that is 24 feet high. 24 feet high. Iron pillar which weighs 7 tons, built by Chandragupta II. In spite of nature's fury, over centuries, the pillar has not yet cawed, or you can say has not yet cawed. Right? You can see the construction that has been done at that point of time. Right? I'm repeating it again. An exquisite example is of Vijay Stham. That is 24 feet high. Underline that 3 to 4 lines. Right? 24 feet high. That is the iron pillar, which weighs around 7 tons, built by Chandragupta II. In spite of nature's fury means in spite of high winds, in spite of high rains, in spite of high hot summer, right? Different seasons, this particular Vijay Stham has, taken all the extreme defects caused by the nature, but still it is standing as it is. There is no change in that Vijay Stham, built by Chandragupta II. Right? I'm reading the last line again. See, the pillar has not yet cawed. Right? It is still as it was made. This is the best example of alchemical lore in India. Mixing of different chemicals and making the pillar so strong that it, gets all the environment, still it remains on its own place without having any defects. This is what the power of chemistry is. Right? I hope these two concepts are clear. First is the heritage of ancient India, that is all about science and technology. The second concept that we discussed is metallurgy, and the third that we discussed is chemistry. Right? Metallurgy is all about metallic arts, right? And chemistry, that is all about different chemical equations giving benefits to the different sectors of society. Right? That is all about chemistry. And the last concept for today, that is science of medicine and surgery. Right? It is now all about medicine and surgery. India attained an unprecedented achievement in the field of medicine and surgery. Since ancient period, Maharshi Charak, Maharshi Shrushut, and Vagbhata pioneered the Indian medicine science and surgery through their intense research and reached to the greatest height. Please, underline the 3 names: Maharshi Charak, Maharshi Shrushut, and Vagbhata. These 3 people pioneered. Pioneered means the main pillar, right? The Indian medicine science and surgery. In the terms of medicine science and surgery, these 3 people had made an intense research so that they could reach to the extreme height. And we as humans living in this society will get the benefits. Next paragraph. Maharshi Charak had written a book, Charak Samhita, in which he mentioned over 2000 medicinal herbs. 2,000 different medicines, 2,000 medical herbs, right? 2,000 is a very great number at that point of time in the terms of history. In the terms of history, right? Maharshi Shrushut has mentioned the instruments used in surgery. Even today, the instruments that are being used while any kind of operation is being done, any kind of surgery is being done, all that instruments were being, mentioned in the terms that is by Maharshi Shrushut. Again, underline that statement. The instruments were so sharp that they would split a single vertical hair into two divisions. The instruments that were being made, that were being used, that were so sharp that it could cut a single part of a hair into two pieces. All that instruments in the terms of surgery were being made by Maharshi Shrushut, or we can say invented or found, or we can say developed at that era by Maharshi Shrushut, right? Vagbhata had written a book, that is Vagbhata Samhita, is also a very important work. Study of Charak Samhita, Shrushut Samhita and Vagbhata Samhita is very useful for every doctor. Is very useful for every doctor. That is all related to the field of medical science. Hindu herbal science of ancient time is enriched with huge collection of minerals and medicines from plants and animals. During the previous era, right? We need to think like that. There were no science, no technology, right? No medical benefits that are easily available, no medicines that are easily available today. We used to depend on nature. That is the plants. Right? I said that we are just getting all the benefits from nature that we have learned in the previous particular chapter, right? The resources are limited. And all the things that we are getting is because of a gift of nature in the terms of different resources. I give an example of water resources. There are many resources that we are going to learn, but this is also the thing that we need to understand. Even in history, we used to totally depend on nature, right? Anything that happens to the human body, we used to live in the hand of nature. We used to, get the benefits from plants. Medicines were being made from plants, right? So nature plays a very important role in the terms of human life. And what we are doing it today, we are destroying the nature. We are imbalancing the nature. Deforestation is one of the best examples that we are doing today, right? We need to understand all these things and try to preserve the nature, right? Next, what it says. This has presented a detailed and complicated process of making medicines, their classifications and their usage. They could even stop blood circulation with ball-shaped bandage. They could even stop blood circulations with a bandage. Right? They could skillfully operate on abdomen, kidney, cataract, hernia stones, piles and bladder, etc. All that things were being invented at that point of time. Right? They could classify, also join the broken or displaced bone and extract the things that pierced into the body easily and skillfully. That is also a benefit that was available in the previous era. Without any kind of machines, without any kind of technology, right? Without any kind of lights, they used to operate the body. They used to, skillfully operate on the different parts, that is kidneys, hernia stones, bladders, all that things were being operated at that point of time without any benefits, purely in the hands of nature. Purely in the hands of nature, right? They could classify, see, they could also join the broken or displaced bones and extract the things pierced into the body. That if anything has been pierced, that means went through a part of the body anywhere, they could, easily and skillfully recognize the symptoms and diagnose the disease. Right? If anything has been pierced in our body, they could easily recognize it, and they can even diagnose in our body that what are the things or what kind of poison is going to affect to this person, as this thing has been pierced in his body without any educational knowledge. How they used to develop all these things? With the help of nature. With the help of nature, right? They used to easily, even the bones which were being cracked, right? They even, were available easily to fit all that things. That was the knowledge that they had in the ancient era, in the ancient times, right? Next, what it says. They also gave dietary directions after post-recovery of disease. They used to even give the dietary directions, what kind of food that you need to eat, what kind of body you need to maintain after they were being recovered from the disease. That was again a benefit that they used to tell to the people, right? Today, in today's era, what we are doing, we are going and concerning to the doctor, we are talking to him, we are concerning him about our health, about our diets, and they gives us a chart that we need to eat this thing on Monday, Tuesday, and it goes on. And still we are not even able to, to maintain our body. But at that point of time, right, they used to give the dietary plaque chart after the particular person was recovered from any kind of disease. And we can easily say all these things were true because the previous people used to live more than 80, 90 and 100 years. We are in the present generation. Think of ourselves. Can we live up to that era or that age? Right? At that point of time, there was no amount of technology. Still, we are bifurcating, or we are making a difference between that era and this era. We have each and everything in our own hands, but can we, stay happily till 90, 100 years? Our lifespan is still 90, 100 years? That is a question mark. But at that point of time, they used to believe, they used to live more than 90, 100 years. They used to get all the benefits from the nature. Right? This is what it is. This is where we make a difference in the previous era and the present era. We need to understand, right, what science and technology used or played an important role at that point of time. So we will understand why we are getting the benefits today in the terms of science and technology. Right? Next, that is the last two paragraphs. They had knowledge of plastic surgery as well, joining nose and ears. They showed a keen interest in teaching students the methods of surgery. The methods of surgery, that is a practical thing that they used to give it to their students. That means the researchers, the experts, the gurus, right? Three names has been given: Maharishi Charak, Maharishi Shushruta, and Vagbhata. These are the three peoples, right, who are on a greatest level in the terms of development of medical science and surgery. They are the pillars, three important pillars of medical science and surgery, right? They showed a keen interest in teaching students the methods of surgery by doing surgery on a dead body or on the wax statue. They counted risky operations during deliveries, right? And they were expert gynecologists and pediatricians. They were expert in the terms of gynecologist, a kind of a disease which is related to women's, right, and pediatricians also. Many people at that point of time were learning all these things practically without having any kind of degrees, right? And we are just getting the benefits of those people through which we are learning, accepting that system and following that process in the same way, while getting it in the terms of proper education. Right? And last paragraph for today. Veterinary science also developed in ancient India. They wrote books on disease which is related to horses, that is Ashwa, and elephants, that is Hasti. Among them, Hasti Ayurveda, Shisholatra, and Ashwastra are well known. The scholars, or you can say the science writers of medicines, that is Vagbhata, made a valuable contribution through his work. What is his work? Ashtank Hriday in the field of diagnosis. Right? These three persons have developed to a greatest extent in the terms of medical science and surgery. Herbals, medicines, surgeries, operations, breaking bones properly, putting it into their place, operations on dead bodies, on wax statues, right? Use of plants, that is the use of nature for improving our health, right? Giving suggestions in the terms of diet. All that things are not present right now. They are present from the past era. And we are just flowing with the particular flow that we have, that we are learning from today's generation. Are we learning from today's generation? No, we are learning from the past generations. That is the history, that is what we are learning. Right? And all those people used to give correct suggestion and advice to their own people. And we can easily say that it was correct because they used to live closely related to 100 or 100 plus years. Right? So we have to, assume it that suggestions and guidelines as been given by these three people were totally correct. So they had, developed a great sense in the terms of medical science and surgery. Those three persons, I'm repeating the names. Please underline that thing if you have not underlined the statement. Page number 38, first paragraph, that is Science of Medicine and Surgery. Second line, Asian period, Maharishi Charak, Maharishi Shrushut, and Vagbhata. These three persons, right, developed a greatest extent in the terms of medicine and surgery. Right? So we need to learn history like this way. Imagine the benefits that we are getting today is not because of today's technology, is because of the technology and science that was being developed in the historical area. Right? And we have preserved all these things, whether it is chemistry, whether it is metallurgy, or whether it is medical science and surgery. And whatever the things that we are getting, that is all because of the heritage. The preservations that we have, kept in museum, the books that we have saved, the books that we are reading, that is a part of history. And that becomes knowledge. And we apply that knowledge in the present life, in the present era. So we are getting the benefits. The fields are different. Chemistry is different than metallurgy. Metallurgy is different than medicines and surgery. Medicines and surgery is again different from chemistry. But all these three factors, all these three different things are as important to our life as our life is. That is why we need to understand history as an important concept of our own life. And then it would be really easy for you students to remember the historical concepts, to remember the historical dates, to remember the historical names. Try to understand the topic in this way. Who developed it, how it was developed, what were the benefits that the people were getting at that point of time. Right? I request the students remember history like this way, so it would be a great and enjoyable learning concept. I hope today what we discussed is clear in the terms of history. What is the name of the chapter? That is Heritage of Science and Technology. That is India's heritage. The people who have contributed in the ancient age, in the previous era, that is in the field of science and technology. Right? The remaining concepts we are going to discuss in the next lecture. I hope these 4 concepts for today are clear. Please make a note of all this particular concept into your book. Thank you.